arrived at Warrington Station. A little grey is the weather, and as we pan round, the first thing we see is the Kingsway pub opposite the station, with some chap trying to have a bash at a butterfly. Well, if you fancy settling down in Warrington, here's a nice property for sale. Hot and cold running weeds, and a nice little entrance for you to park your, well, whatever you want to park there. And opposite the interchange, we have the old bank, and a very fine looking building it is too. And no, sadly, these are not real, I'm afraid. They look nice though. It's been converted into a hotel, among other things. With the weather looking a little bit grey, I've decided to head on straight up to what is described as Warrington's most iconic building. And it appears to be a mid-16th century Tudor dwelling. So we'll go and have a look at that straight away, and then we'll get along into the town, where we will take the suitable Mickey out of various shop names, as I usually do, with a bit of architecture and culture thrown in. Oh, I do like a good read me. My next chapter awaits. But hang on a minute. I might not be able to read this book just yet because it's evolving. Porter's Ale House looks a little worse for wear. It's 10 to the hour, and not too sure why this establishment is getting all bell ringy. A nice little suite of, I suppose you might say, Georgian looking houses as flats. The Bull's Head, a nice traditional looking pub. And Orchard Street, well, I'm not too sure we'll find many orange or apple groves to pick fruit from somehow. And there's a very compact and castle looking national school, supported by voluntary contributions dating back to 1833. And we found it, the very, very old house. Let's stand back and have a view. Despite its age dating back to the 16th century, it's now become something called Flavors. Yes, an Indian restaurant. And the side view of the 16th century building, complete with medieval heat extraction unit. And a very tall, imposing spire in the distance. And next to Flavors, yes, we have to have a Sainsbury's. Plenty of flavours in there. Well, I'm awfully sorry. It's an absolutely lovely, fine, ancient building, hundreds of years old, but that was a little bit underwhelming. Right, let's get into the centre of the town. It didn't take me long to have my awful sense of humour tickled. Oh dear, showing my age again. I felt some rain and thought, oh goodness, going to have to buy an umbrella despite all the waterproofs at home. But what was it? Yes, a car wash centre. Silly me. It's a good number for ABBA cars. Let's all have a song. Waterloo, and here we go again. Not pre-booked. No Warrington Council. It just needs to be not booked. No need for the pre. Is this an instruction to make sure you hit only cyclists? Busy junction, mind you, all the same. That's the way to get business. Misspell the word and people will flock to your premises. Now just pause for a minute. This building is 208 years old. But look what it's come to. Have to have a vape shop, don't we? Yes, an interesting old building. Goodness me, we seem to have quite a cholesterol and saturated fat operation going on here. And next door, they're maintaining it by ensuring it's a big portion. Not stopping to try, but food here must be fabulous because it's full of people of Chinese extraction. Must bookmark that for a next visit. The old townhouse is now a pasha bar and shisha lounge, and presumably these are far too expensive to locate by the sea nowadays, so they're bringing the sea to Warrington. I wonder if they have any customers of Germanic extraction. Do they have to run out and put towels on the seats? As I walk on up to the town centre, little fact to keep you going, just to show that it's not all frivolity. Warrington, despite its proximity to Manchester and near proximity, if there's such a description, to Liverpool, has a very large shopping area. And that's what we're going to have a look at, just to see exactly how extensive it is. I did check, but sadly, Alice is not in. Not too sure what these particular things are. They're all over the place. As we look up toward the lower part of the town centre, still maintaining its original facades. And there's more of those things. Poor old Godzilla has been reduced. Not quite something I expected to see in a cash converters. Just look at the price. Goodness, we're going for broke here with... I don't think they could crowbar in any more superlatives if they wanted to. And all just for £1. As you can see, the lower angel. I'm not too sure where the higher angel is. Looking in the the Salvation Army window, there's something from the deep, distant past. Well, we're coming into the main centre, and there's more of these peculiar upturned, I don't know what you call them really, things, with things on the top. So let's just call them things. And I've spied a nice little church in the distance, or it might be a town hall. I'll go and have a look. Yes, I was right. This is called the Holy Trinity Church. This is all it actually reminds me a little bit of Barcelona, this. It's quite lovely. And let's just turn back from whence we came. And there's the centre with the green things. Goodness me, I didn't realise the place was so big. Yes, I'm actually rather taken aback. The centre of Warrington is really lovely. And I'm very surprised it's not that madly busy, it being a Saturday and approaching lunchtime. Oh, lunch, there's a good idea. As expected, the old traditional bank is still open in a nice building. And next to it is a really very striking building. Let's have a look. In fact, a couple of them. Let's check this one out first. There are some evangelists having a sing-song, as you can hear. Well, this is an interesting building. I suppose you could say it's the real McCoy's. Just look at this. All has been revealed. It's good old-fashioned traditional shopping arcade. It's even got a Doctor Who psychic blue plate. Sorry, non-fans of Doctor Who, you'll have to look up what that means. It looks very nice indeed, very old-worldy. It's just a shame it's opposite this thing. Appalling. Yes, a lovely old-worldy arcade, but not especially busy. And this is where the shopping arcade exits. Goes round in a U shape, presumably. Well, of course it would do. Let's not take the urine out of the name. It looks a lovely little restaurant, mind you. One of the satellite companies is missing a trick here. They should park outside and then we'd have Mr. Blue Sky. All right, yes, all right, I'll leave it. Some nice little fresco-y things going on there. And Plasma Doctor. Where was he with all those qualifications? Don't know if you can see them or not. Where was he when my TV broke? This is called Bank Park, just off the centre of the town. Now we're going to linger for a moment. Just look at this magnificent gateway. And behind the gateway, yes, the bank townhouse. And lovely it looks too. Oh, that's called the gateway. No, I'm pretty sure that's a patio door. There are definitely mixed messages going on here. I'm not too sure what they're protecting it from. And not one, but two of them, and I didn't bring a Superman outfit with me. Probably can't read this, but this house was railway pioneer William Alcari's house, and that was 1801 to 61. But the house, sadly, is in a little bit of disrepair, which is a great shame. And what's this I see before me? It looks like a town council premises. Well, that's me out because I'm afraid I'm in walking shoes. The please no parking up on the curb machinery seems quite severe down here. And the converted post office. What a lovely building it is too. Old seems to meet new here in this central area, and I'll just move a little bit quickly. Nice little park. Again, only a couple of minutes walk from the centre of the town. Yes, all very cosmopolitan. Nice looking. The Palmyra. No, I was sadly mistaken. Better look at Google Maps first before I make pronouncements. It's the old technical school converted into retail, restaurant and cafe usage. Oh, I was told by a local to come and have a look at the Pyramid Art Centre, but sadly it's closed for refurbishment. It's been tagged on to the former county court, which is a lovely building. And there's a better view of the old county court. I know I've said it before, but they don't make buildings like this anymore, do they? There are 6 spaces here for cars, and I call this parasitism. P for parasitism. This is, according to a local I spoke to, the famous Parr Hall venue. It's not famous to me, but then, had I done a little bit of research beforehand, it might be more famous. It pays to read things. I mean, had I have gone home and booked for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I would look right to it and had to listen to bagpipes all night long. Well, all I can say is I'm glad he does. May he enjoy. I'll go no further. Here's a chap on a plinth telling people to pick up that litter. It's a very fine casting. A memoriam, of course. Let's go and have a look as to who they're in memory of here. Quick readout, I won't spend too long. It's to the memory of the officers, non-commissioned officers and men of the Prince of Wales's Volunteers, the South Lancashire Regiment, who gave their lives in service for the country during the war in South Africa, 1899 to 1902. Ah, this seems to be Legal Central in Warrington. Yes, a street of birds of a feather, all flocking together. Yes, have you had an accident? Have you been a victim of medical negligence? Have you been harassed at work? Another old building coming under the hammer. And there's a nice twee one, fashion-forward hairdressing. Good grief. Now that is quite clever if you think about it. Despite the vans parked in there, that's an interesting looking little public house. And there we are, look what we found. Yes, it's a Spoons. It wouldn't be a ramble without a Spoons. Well, this looks a little bit worse for wear. Seemingly it's a fully fitted 1400 capacity nightclub with a 6 a.m. license. Does that mean you can only sell drinks at 6 a.m? I wonder why the Times Square car park is covered in hexagons. Or am I being a bit too critical? Ah, mamma mia, kebabs, burgers and fried chicken. That must be where ABBA taxis go in the evening. This has to be the older end of the town, the original end. The Feathers, well, yeah, okay. And some more of the rather older buildings, still in their original form. There's somebody taking a dash of B&M bargains and home bargains and mashing it up, I believe the current social media description is. The first sign of some government or official buildings. And this is in Times Square, where we saw the car park, just coming up for a nosy. Times Square, it's a cineworld, and not very square, but I'm not going to knock that. And then we found the Warrington Market Hall, if it is the real thing. Oh yes, cynical me. At the top end here, there's loads of little eating hutches where you grab a seat. And then down below is the main market. I was sorry I couldn't have a bite there because the food looked absolutely delicious. But you know, in these high ceilinged places where it all reverberates and it's madly busy, which I must say, delighted to see, it's just not comfortable. Yes, nice bit of old architecture wedged in around here. Shame for poor Hannah's World Buffet though, it seems to have gone into outer space. And next door, Zaytim is in a lovely building. And right opposite Zaytin, we have the back end of the market that this coward was too cowardly to go walking around. I presume this feature must mean hands across the world. It sort of starts up there as a dribble and then goes down here as a stream and, well, ends up down there. And both Mac Cholesterol's and a gambling den located in very fine buildings. Oh, I've just spied above the market hall. Lions holding the flag. This looking very much like an embassy rather than a shop. And that's just an overall view of where we've come up from. Sort of nearly works. New cod on the block. Not quite though, but a good try. And for those of you that may have suffered my other videos, this completes the set of coffee houses. It being Warrington, the other one Stockport, Bolton, Farnworth, and there was somewhere else but I've forgotten. And a little bit of Cade Meal of Fortune going on here, but there seem to be refurbished Meal of Fortune. All the same usual suspects here, the multinational brands. But that having been said, little coffee van there, there's plenty of choice and lots of little covered areas. I bet this is busy in the summer, as well as under the main thing here itself, and more up there. You can have your food there. A lady just told me that they hold little local concerts and promote local artists here with concerts and put up food tents and attractions. And why not? Oh, and if you want to, you can have a Mad Hatter's Tea Party. And at the far end of this golden square is the Barley Mow, which I missed. Now that looks quite original. And indeed it is original, as you can see from the date. That's 4:01. Just stopped when I saw this life preserver, and I think it's going to save my life. There's a lot of these little tree-lined things in the centre of the town, which makes it really lovely. Another one here with cement things with trees on them. Still very nice. And then this, which I thought was a spinning wheel, but if you try to spin that, the whole town might turn around. And then I spied this. Problem is, there's no blue plates around, so I'm not really familiar with what the potential history might be, sadly. And no doubt that would have been the original coach yard here. And along here, if you listen carefully, you can hear there's some horses coming. Actually only fooling you. Ah, that's where Lucy Nails lives. I know her brother, Hammerin. Right, thought I'd just take a little bit of break to give you some little facts and figures from Warrington. It was originally very well known as a glass-making centre. That was between 1780 and 1820. And Warrington is also famous that in 1987, the first IKEA, or as they now call it, IKEA, store opened just outside the town by the M62 motorway. The town's also twinned with Hilden in Germany, and for some strange reason with no fewer than 6 towns in Czechoslovakia, which is quite unusual. Warrington was also the first town in the United Kingdom to open a rate-supported public library. That means a free one where you can nip in and have a read. Some quite famous souls from Warrington as well. There's George Formby, you know, the one when he's cleaning windows. He's from the town, he's buried here. And Bert Kwok, you remember poor old Peter Sellers, fall guy from the Pink Panther series? He was born here. And Ozzie Clark, the fashion designer, he comes from here. If those of you are familiar with Moneybox on Radio 4, that's Paul Lewis. He's also from the town. Actor, singer and composer Tim Curry is from here. And back in 2008, local lad George Sampson won Britain's Got Two Screeching Judges Who Laugh at Everything talent. And he, well, haven't heard of him much since then. And Rebecca Brooks from News International, renowned from essentially, well, she was married to Ross Kemp and in essence beat him up, so he left. There's Ian Brown from the Stone Roses, he's a local lad. Chris Evans, carrot hair, he was born and raised here. Kerry Katona, I don't know why she classifies as being somebody famous, because she's only famous for being famous and not much else. She's from here. Roger Hunt, Liverpool Football Club player and a member of the England 1966 World Cup. Yes, he was from here. And Steve Donoghue, he was 10 times British flat horse racing champion. He's from here. As well as George Duckworth, the England Test cricketer. He's from here too. Just another couple. There's Pete Waterman, here of Stock Aitken and Waterman, who produced all those bubblegum hits. He's from the town. And Wade Dooley, the former England Rugby Union player for England. Now, he played 55 times for England, so there's a bit of a record for you. And one final one, which is a bit of a sad one, you might remember back in, I think it was February 2003, young Brianna Gay, the 17-year-old, she was viciously murdered by 2 16-year-olds. That was all over the news, all for the wrong reasons. I mean, words fail you when you hear that. And there you have your facts and figures. Let's go and get cracking and see what else we can find before we must wend our way home. This is something called the Grand, and quite a grand building it is too. I see the date at the top, 1890. And this seems to be something called the Warrington Academy, dating back to 1757. So it just really confirms that Warrington is full of some really old buildings, with some sadly being older than others, even though they are younger. A lot of vacant spaces down this particular street. And the side of the original academy with a nice bronze statue, as you can see, of Oliver Cromwell. And here we are on Mersey Street, and this is so called because while there may be no ferries, it's the River Mersey. And yes, Warrington's leader in recruitment. I think all they've been doing is leading us to the wrong conclusion or up a blind alley, as is typical with most recruitment consultancies. As I've pointed out before, each town we have a look at seems to have its own street devoted to less than healthy takeaways, shall we say. And Bridge Street is well and truly no exception. And to finish off, one with a rather good name. I don't mean good name as in fabulous food, because I haven't a clue, but the actual name itself. Hey, another misspelt word, this time leaving out the K and the S. Oh, don't you love it? Stick a mad in front of it and I wonder, is George in? You know who, which George I mean. Get away out of that, of course you know. I gave up after the first 7 and they had to close down. Oh, the hop pole. Is that sort of a pole dancing thing that you do on a pongo stick? Not too sure. And there you have it. That was my little ramble around Warrington in County Cheshire. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you gained some value from it and learned something new. I know I did. And what can I say except thank you for watching and see you next time.